Joy. Welcome to my studio. Today we're working on our curly mesh pumpkin wreath and we're going to use a frame from the dollar store. Let's get started with this fun harvest project. To do this project, I found a form, and this was at the Dollar Tree. I've also seen them at the different dollar stores, so you can kind of look. They may be a little bit different, but it'll kind of give you an idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the garland off of it that's already on here, and kind of find a spot, maybe the top or the bottom, that you know is the end or beginning, and if you can't find it, just cut one and make one. But I do save it to use it for other projects. I know that that's the end right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Well, I might hold on to that. Okay, there we go. So now that we've got it, it's got all these different nubs that it's stuck on. So we're going to just start unwinding it. And you may find it easier to do it on the bottom or the top, but once you kind of see how these little nubs are, I think you'll find it a lot easier to unwind them once you figure out which direction those are going. So we'll also take off the face and just continue unraveling all of it till you get it all done. And for right now, I'm going to leave the stem. I haven't decided on the last time I took it apart, but I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it on this time or not. So we'll figure that out a little bit later on. Now that I've got it all unwrapped, we're going to take some wire cutters and we're going to just clip all of these nubs off and get them out of our way. And we want them kind of flush and as nice as you can get them so they don't catch on the mesh. So I'm going to do them all the way around the outside. I'm going to do these little guys in the middle as well. But I think these guys right here, I don't think they're going to really catch on anything. If you have some that may, then just go ahead and remove those. But I don't think they're going to get caught on anything. And I have a couple up here that I'm going to remove as well. So get all of those trimmed off and we'll start applying our mesh. Now that we've got all of our nubs cut off our pumpkin, we're going to go ahead and get our pipe cleaners ready, and you want these the same color as your mesh. And I would really like to do one of these pumpkins in like green and brown, and I thought it would be really fun to have fall colors. So I'm cutting my pipe cleaner in half, and then I'm going to cut it each section into thirds. So I'm getting a total of 6, and that's just about right to tie on our mesh ribbon with. And I found my pipe cleaners and my mesh ribbon at the Dollar Tree, and there's 5 yards on our mesh ribbon, and I'm going to cut it into 6-inch strips, and I'm using my paper cutter. And if you need a really lightweight paper cutter, we have them at miriamjoy.com. It's nice and heavy duty but light. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those in 6-inch pieces, and we're going to start putting those on our pumpkin. And let's set this out of the way. So I want to do this one a little bit different, and the reason I'm going to talk to you is because I want you to realize that I think things through and process them and have doubts just like everybody else. So I am going to do one here, 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 and here. On these outsides, I'm going to do 3. And these middle ones, I'm going to do 2. And these inside sections, all in this square, I think I'm only going to do 1 to each section, because I think this guy gets a little bit puffy in that middle. And I think he only needs 1 in that section. But you may decide that you wanted to do 2. On that one, I did 2 on the ones going down, but I only did 1 on the crossways. But I think in this triangle section right here, I could just do 1 on each thing. So we're going to go ahead and start looking at it. and see what we think. So we're just going to roll these up and tie them on. Now the one thing I will tell you is try to keep them even. You don't want like a point coming out like that. If you start to roll it up and have that point, then offset it by pulling the other one back down. And we're just going to roll those. And I wouldn't do those any smaller than 6 inches because you've got to have enough room to roll them. And we're just going to tie them on and put our pipe cleaners. You can rewrap it around. Just make sure that that is kind of hiding in the back. So again, I'm going to do one across those middle sections up at the top. Right there. And I'm going to leave that green for right now. I'll probably come in and put some curly stuff on it, but we'll see how it looks. I wanted to just kind of leave it for now. It may look more Halloweenish. We may want to do it if we want it for Thanksgiving. We'll kind of take a look at that. And just kind of move those out of your way as you're working. And you could work this way to that way. You could work up is kind of how I did it, or roll at a time. Whatever kind of works for you. So I'm going to I've got one here, and then I'm going to do one next to that, and that will be my first row. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do 3 here and 2 on these and 3 on that one. So I'm going to come back and show you that when I've got that far. I finished that section there, and I can already tell you we're going to have to do something different with our stem because we're starting to lose it. But this is really filling out, and I want to show you why we do in this section. If you see, it kind of starts to separate, and you can kind of see those. So that is going to be our next one is right there. And then I'm still going to put 3 on the edges because it needs it on the edges. And then I'm just going to put 1 here and then 1 there, and we'll take a look at it and see if we need to fill it out anymore. I've gone ahead and gone through this next one, and that is plenty full. That's looking really good. And the easiest way to tell is on the back to make sure you've got everything, because I always put it in the front and then turn it around the back and look at it. And on this, instead of doing 3, it started bunching up more, so I only did 2 on these outside ones. So I'm going to come and do this next row. So I'm going to do 2, 1 all the way across here, and then 1 here and 2 there. And then we'll take another quick look at it. So we've got that row in, so we only have our last row left. And on this last row, I'm going to do 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. And remember how we did them in between up here at the top? We're not going to do that up here because we want it more square down here, like it's sitting on the ground. So we're just going to do 2 on each of those, and I think that will be more than enough. So we've finished all of that, and that looks really good. It is not quite as puffy in the middle, and if you want it then puffy in the middle, then do more. So with that, that took me about 15 yards. I would do 20 just to be on the safe side of the orange mesh. Now let's go ahead and work on our stem here, and we're going to go ahead and get this guy off. And I'm just going to come in here and cut it, and I save this and use it on other things. You'd be surprised at what you'll end up using it for. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off, and then we'll talk about that and see what's underneath it. On this stem, I did it on both sides of the stem, and I think it's just too curly. I don't really care for it as much. So I think I'm going to do maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I'm going to put it on and start looking at it. You get rid of those nubs if they're in your way. If they're not, just leave them there. If this had another line in the middle, I would just do it up the line, but it doesn't. So again, I'm going to cut 6-inch strips. I'm going to use the green this time. And I'm going to start with 4, and then we'll see what it needs from there. So I went up just the one side and put that all on there, and I like that. That's okay. Another kind of idea is on this one, I wrapped it with burlap first and then the colored mesh, and you could do green or brown, whatever you want. So that's just another option. So because that comes in this way, I'm going to decorate over here on this one. I'm going to use my floral wire. This I pick up at the Dollar Tree, and it's really thick, but it's really bendable. And I'm just going to take it around, and I'm going to wrap it at the base of our stem here. I think this just adds elegant and, I don't know, magic or something, sparkle to our project. I'm just going to twist it there to hold it in place. I'm going to cut this off. One of the things I always do with my floral wire is I always turn the tips in, so nobody pokes themselves. There's never any chance of that. And then once I do that, we're just going to twist it, and I'm just going to use a size dowel I want, and then just curl it as much as you want. Then I'm going to pull it back out a little bit. I'm not worried about this side showing. You could always cut that off if you were worried about that, but I'm going to cover that up so much I don't think it's going to show. So that's actually going to come out a little bit there. And we're going to do this side. Turn that down a little bit and pull that back out. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of big fall leaves. And I really love these leaves. I found these at Joann's, in case you're kind of wondering. And I'm going to start with my yellow one, kind of figure out where I want that. And then my brown one there. And I apologize for me bouncing around all over the place in this video. I just can't hold it still. Put that guy in. I'm going to hot glue him in. So he sits down a little bit there on the front. Maybe tuck him in between here. I've got glue going everywhere, so I need to make a decision. And then I'm going to stick this brown one on here. Try and tuck him under some of that, or leave him on top, it doesn't matter. So let's get him glued on. On this one, I think I'm going to add a raffia bow though. On the other one I did, and I kept it real simple, and that was all I had in it. But I think I'm just going to do a little bit of a raffia bow, just to kind of help keep all of this in place and to kind of help cover up our stem up there as well. So once we get those where we want them, and then I'm just going to hot glue that, and that'll help cover all of that up. Make sure that our stuff doesn't show up too much from the back there. I think I'm going to go add one more green guy right on top there. But other than that, we are done. I think that's really cute. I think the curls are so cute. I know there's a little bit of work to it, but it'll be something you'll enjoy for years to come. I know that took a little bit of time to do, but I think it's really worth it. It's going to be a wreath you're going to have for a lot of time to come. Another suggestion I will give you is once you're done with it, the season is over, put it into a trash bag, a kitchen trash bag, and hang it in the back of the closet or up in the rafters of the garage, up out of the way where it doesn't get ruined. And just come on over to miriamjoy.com for any of our products, and just hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving.